welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Vicky, and today's video is actually something that I got asked quite a few times since moving here in Vienna. It's like, how does the whole process happen with applying in Austria as an A-level student? And today I'm really hoping to break down my process and how I did it, and maybe it will help you if you're about to undergo this process, because it was lengthy and confusing, but I did figure it out successfully, so I'm hoping that something can be helpful for you. So for context, my elementary school and middle school education was in a Bulgarian school, as I'm originally from Bulgaria, and then I switched to a British college where I obtained certificates in GCE and in A-level. After finishing my studies, I applied straight away to 3 countries. One of them was the Netherlands, Italy, and Austria, obviously. And what I found was that in Austria it's really hard to apply as an A-level student, because I'm guessing it's not a very popular diploma. I personally haven't met anyone here who has studied A-level. I have met a few IB students, but not A-level. And the websites and the system is built in a way that's really hard and challenging to navigate if you don't have a EU diploma, and A-levels is considered a non-EU diploma. And together with that, I even faced the fact that in my school we had to sit the May-June exam session. I had no problem with it for any other university outside of Austria, because they had my grade predictions and they said that they themselves will see when my results come out in August. In Austria, this wasn't the case. One university told me that I need my actual school living diploma, which we get in October, to be provided by September 6th, which there was no way we could do that because Cambridge couldn't issue it that early. So they told me I can wait a year and reapply when I have it. That was a very unique experience. Today I'm gonna speak more particularly about WU and BBE and how I did the whole process. Now, fair warning before we start with any of this is that I did apply 2 years ago. Things could have changed, requirement could have changed. If you have any question, anything, I do think that it's best to reach out to WU directly and to ask them. Alright, so let's start from the get-go. When I was applying, I was looking at the application criteria. And now in the Netherlands and in Italy, they had very clearly stated A-level criteria, which were usually minimum grade requirements for your A-levels and IGCSEs. On WU's website for BBE, I could not find information on it. And I tried looking for it before filming this video and I still couldn't find it, or maybe it's placed in a way that it's really hard to find. And the thing is, when I found out that it's not visible on the website, I started calling student support. They have really weird working hours, emailing them every 2 weeks, and that's how I got the information and that's how everything started. But the first complexity is the fact that yes, if you're not seeing the information, then probably it is missing, because for some reason A-levels is not really acknowledged as like a diploma that should be stated on the websites of universities in Austria. But they were also a little bit confused what was happening, and I would say that depending on who was in office, half of the people had no idea what was going on. There was this one person who was kind of helpful. So much confusion. One of the times they did answer and they sent me a separate document, which was the A-level requirements to be accepted into BBE, which were not on the website because they had to send it separately. And now I'm gonna tell you exactly what that said. Now, in the documents you have to send to apply to BBE, you obviously have to complete the application form and you need proof of B2 level English language. Now, you're not exempt even though you've graduated from a British college, especially if you haven't graduated from a country that has English as its main language. For that, I did sit the IELTS because I think it is the most widely spread requirement language test in Europe. I also sat the SAT, but I don't think I included them in my submission here as I applied with my IELTS. So keep in mind that you have to plan for that. Yeah, you just need to have B2 level proof regardless of your English diploma. Now I'm gonna walk you through the requirements for the subjects, which were very confusing, so just bear with me. So these are the requirements for GCE or IGCE and for GCSE or IGCSE. Basically, whether you're completing it in the UK or international, the requirements are the same, so I'm just going to be referring to them as IGCSE and A-level. You must complete 4 subjects. One of the subjects must be a language, one must be mathematics, one must be a science, which is a choice between biology, chemistry, or physics, and one humanity. 3 of those subjects should be completed in A-level, so you should get your final diploma with 3 of them. And one of them can be completed either in IGCSE or in AS level. In case German is your first language, the subject German can only be considered at the IGCSE GCSE level, so you can't count it as a language in A-level if you're fluent in German. However, here I had a little bit of an issue. So my 3 A-level subjects were economics, psychology, and mathematics. I had studied biology in AS level, and I had studied the language in IGCSE. But you see that one of the requirements of having one of my humanities be either a science or a language was not fulfilled. And I started panicking because nowhere else did I see that for a business degree I would need a biology or a language. And at that point I did reach out to WU, and this is again, if you have the same trouble, I would say do reach out to WU, because they told me that because I've had these subjects before, they only gave me a grade requirement, like a minimum grade I should achieve, and that it was okay. This could vary and this could change. They could have changed it. It could vary depending on how related your subjects are. This is a very big gray area. So if you're planning your curriculum to be able to study BBE and you haven't picked your A-level subjects yet, I do recommend following this criteria of maybe like having a language or a science, just to be sure. If it's too late, like it was for me, because I was in my last year of my A-level, so there was nothing I could do reach out to them and ask what you can do. Maybe you can sit an extra exam in like a different exam session, but in my experience they told me that my subjects are okay so long as I get a C or above, and so long as I pass the BBE entrance exam. Okay, so we've reached the point where we have our IELTS or language certificate for B2 or above level. We're sitting our final exams, and then comes the fun part, that actually grade predictions, you can share them with WU, but they need an official statement from Cambridge. So on results day, all other universities I applied to, they basically told me that I can just send them a document that my school principal signed saying this and this student received these and these grades and on like this exam session, and that was sufficient. But for WU, they told me that they need an official document from Cambridge, which is my exam board, and it needs to arrive directly to their admissions office, because if I receive it and I send it, it will not count. Now, how do you do that? When you go on the Cambridge website or the website of whatever your board is, you go into exam administration, and then you have the section others, where it has results. You go into results and you scroll down, and you see priority results service. This is what we need. Here you pick the form for your exam session. So let's say it's June and we want the priority results. Here we can see the deadline. So this year the deadline for this form submission is the 25th of July. Qualification details, you write GCE AS and A-level, your center number, candidate number, center name and location in country, and the number of priority statements that are required. For WU, you need 1. Delivery details, this you can get, I got it from the person that I was in contact with from the admissions office. You can also just email them or call them and ask what address to send this to, and they'll tell you. And here my tip is to select the international courier that's tracked. You're going to pay more for delivery, but when you get the tracking number, you can give it to WU and they can track it themselves, which I think is nice, and it's calming to know that they can also see what's happening with it. From what I was told from my school, they also tend to get delivered faster, and there's less chance of them getting lost, because if you use the not tracked one, it's a little bit risky. And then fees, so you select first priority statement of results per qualification, you select 1, then additional copies, you won't need it for WU. Dispatched by international courier tracked per address, you select 1, and it would give you the grand total, which should be around 120 pounds. It is pricey, but there is no way around it with WU. I have tried to look, but there is no way around it. So when you fill in the form, you return it to info@cambridgeinternational.org, and the subject of your email should be priority results application June 2026 if you're doing it in June 2026. If you're doing it for another exam session or year, you obviously change it. And you also add your center number, the subject line of the email, and then you sign it and you send it, and that is it. During my exam session, I did pay for the tracked one, and within 24 hours from results coming out, I heard back from WU that they had received my certificate and that all was good, which was very, very nice and very fast. My additional piece of advice is the day of results day or the day after results day, do call WU and check if they've received it. I did that because I didn't get any confirmation. And also, if you're ever in doubt about any part of the process, about any part of the documentation, about anything, do call WU. They are very willing to help. This is what they do. They know best what they require. During the process, after the BBE entrance exam results were out and I got accepted, they did send me the documents, the scanned copies and everything that I need to send additionally. So if there's anything else that they require from you, they will tell you ahead of time. time. When in doubt, do call and email them. And with that, I really hope that this video was helpful and that it helped kind of guide you through the application process as an A-level student. If there's any questions that I can answer, do leave a comment or message me on Instagram, as I do reply on there. I'd be happy to help. But this was it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck with your application, and I hope to see you on campus next year. Bye. It's an apostille. How do I pronounce that? Apostle. It needs an apostle. No one told me.